Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Pod What Happens Live. We are a podcast that covers all things, most things, Bravo, and we are brought to you by Silent Podcasts. I am your host, Katie, and I'm here with my wonderful co-host, who I'm sure does not look like a Christmas tree in lingerie, although I've never seen you in lingerie, so I can't say, to be fair. Kari, how are you?
I'm great because I am not in lingerie nor looking like a Christmas tree. So if
It's a win-win.
If those are things to judge my day by, then I'm fantastic over here.
Great.
How are you?
Well, I'm okay. I had a long day. I go to the office on Tuesdays. Most of the time, it's like, back to work, back to office push stuff that everybody's dealing with. And I made the decision to go to the gym this morning, to go to Orange. If you know me personally, you know all I do is talk about Orange Theory. I'm a very annoying person, and I'm fully aware, but I don't change my behavior. And so I was like, let me try and go in the morning. It's like Bravo and Orange Theory.
Give yourself a little bit more credit.
And like how much I hate Elon Musk. Those are like my big three topics. But so I did that this morning, and it's just like so hot outside already, like so early in the morning. I came home, I got ready, I did my hair. I was like sweating while I was doing my hair, so I stopped, and then I finished after I put my makeup on, and then as soon as I like finished my hair, and then as soon as Nitro agrees, as soon as I went back outside, I was like drenched in sweat, and then on my way home from the office, I got poured rain on. So summer. I'm just living my best summer life over here,
Your non-Hampton summer life.
My non-Hamptons, Queens, New York summer life.
Side note, today Nitro did something similar during my one-on-one with my manager. Actually, it was kind of chaotic. Lavelle had brought in a plate of food for me that I wasn't expecting. And Lavelle tried to like duck and sneak in behind me, and like the camera, especially where I have my work laptop, is a wide angle, and I was like, he could see you, just put it down.
And that's so nice.
Yeah, my manager was like, hi. So I like introduced them. But
that's so funny.
Nitro does this thing where like if there's food on the table, like more the coffee table, but if it's like been sitting there for a bit, he like will bark at me like
like, I know you're not eating
let that sit there.
Yeah, you may as well give it to me.
Fucking feed me. And so he did that. And he was like, wow, Rocket got really loud. I'm like, well, this is Nitro.
Who the hell's Rocket?
Now it's Nitro. So So Valencia calls him Turbo.
Yes, I was going to say he has a nickname from Valencia. Yes. Okay, so Turbo, Rocket, and Nitro.
On my softball team who called him Malibu because Malibu was also a gladiator. And he mixed up which one it was. He was like, Malibu. I'm like, are you talking to my dog? Then he's like, I knew it was some gladiator.
Who would ever name anybody after Malibu?
I don't know. Malibu wasn't even on there long. I don't know if you watched, but there were.
Yeah, Turbo was my second crush.
Nitro?
Turbo.
Which one was Turbo? Oh wait, I know which one was Turbo. That's what I'm just checking.
Yeah, it was Turbo.
Both American Gladiators had two documentaries come out somewhat recently. So ESPN did a 30 for 30, and Netflix did like the unauthorized story of American Gladiators. So like I don't know what the reason why is. I didn't like dive too deep into it, but a lot of the gladiators wouldn't do the ESPN one because the guy who claims he created American Gladiators was like the focal point of it, and a lot of them don't like him.
Oh, interesting.
So I'm wondering if like there's definitely got to be some drama behind it.
Oh, I want to know all of the American Gladiators drama.
Right. So I'm wondering like, did 30 for 30 come around to be like, hey, we're doing this, will you be involved? And they're like, not if this guy is.
Yeah.
I'm wondering because like Nitro, the real Nitro, not my dog, seems to be kind of like one of the like center points, maybe a Nitro and like Ice, or I think that was her. They're all like still friends and stuff. And so
good for them.
I'm wondering if they like went to Netflix and were like, listen, something's going to be coming out ESPN 30 for 30, but most of the gladiators are refusing to do it because the guy is a dick. So we'll give you like our version of it.
Oh, interesting.
That's what my idea is. So
We took a turn, and I'm so happy that we did.
yeah, I mean, we lost a live viewer. Sorry if you're not
Sorry.
Gladiators, but I am
Sorry.
always
We'll pivot. We'll
American
pivot.
Gladiators. We
Yeah.
lost another
I
one. We're
was
down to
casually
one.
Googling American Gladiators over here. And I've never seen Malibu in my life, but Nitro and Turbo.
He
I
was
recall.
on for like 12 episodes. He got injured and just like they never had him back.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. Malibu.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully things
But
turned out okay for you.
if you decide to watch them, the two documentaries, I would watch the ESPN one first because it has like it definitely has different information and it's not as gladiator focused, and then you like get the gladiator focused one and you kind of hear like I feel like it fills in the holes better than if you were to watch it the other way around.
Okay.
So ESPN 30 for 30 and then the Netflix one. The ESPN 30 for 30 is 2 parts and like easily both an hour and a half each, and then the Netflix one is 5 parts and it's like
oh
an
my
hour
God.
each.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm really going to overload myself with American
Yeah.
Gladiators content if
Yeah.
I dive in. Okay, well, you know what? I'm ready.
All right.
My
well, on the
Vanderpump Rules
podcast-
rewatch is over. May as well.
Well-
What else am I doing with my time?
Right.
We're into a Bermuda. What's it called? Bermuda
Triangle?
No, a Bermuda something. Hold on. I just sent it to my friends. We have a weather event happening here in New York starting tomorrow called a Bermuda. That's not the right text message. I'm really blowing it here. A Bermuda high. We're going up to potentially 110 degrees in New York City. So, things are fine. Everything's great. No cause for concern. So I'll be inside in the air conditioning watching American Gladiators because where else would I be? Not out there.
Will openly admit that I watched the whole current season of Love Island within the last week. That's 50 episodes minus they do like a After Sun episode, I think once a week or like maybe every other week, and then like an unseen bits, like I think once a week or every other week. I don't know. But dude, I flew through some fucking Love Island. So if I can do almost 50 episodes of Love Island, I believe in your ability to watch American Gladiators.
Thank you for believing in me.
Mm-hmm.
I really appreciate it.
That's my role. I'm a hype man,
it's true.
if nothing else.
It's true, and you're a great one. Shall we shift into hype manning, maybe, Roni?
Yes, but first, should we do a live taste test?
Oh my God, yes. We talked about it, and I didn't even tee it up appropriately. I'm the worst.
Okay.
Kari, why don't you share with the class what you're drinking today?
So I can't be trusted to go to grocery stores because I buy the dumbest shit. This time I came home with a 12-pack of sugar-free or like Coke Zero vanilla with a family size pack of double stuffed fudge Keebler Elf cookies, those things. So,
amazing.
Like, yeah, they're
great
so
purchase.
Good. They're so good.
Great purchase.
Like 3 different types of ramen, but most importantly, I saw the variety pack of Loverboy and decided I'm going to get it. So, I am here.
Not sponsored.
No, I mean, you can sponsor me.
Yeah.
I will gladly take a sponsorship. I'm looking for a side gig. So I'm here to try the half and half. That's what this kind is for the first time. I haven't even popped the seal because, as you know, when you drink, I feel like canned beverages, that first sip is the best sip. And it has to be like right after you open it. Like having that Coke Zero vanilla or vanilla Coke Zero, like the first sip is just like, oh, or like cream soda. The first,
I love a cream soda.
Oh my God, so good, right?
So underrated.
Yeah, it needs to be like 2 degrees more popular. I agree.
I don't need it overhyped, but like I need it more regularly available to me.
Yeah, it needs to have more accessibility than what it currently has. And so I didn't want to open it beforehand and then like let it sit here, not that it's like carbonated or anything, and like miss the good first sip. So
plus we need the sound, the cracking and open of the can sound.
All right, here's ASMR with Katie and Kari.
Ooh, that was a good sound. It was perfect. It was perfect.
And the first sip of this, I've never had it before.
I like the design.
That's Amanda.
I know. Good for you, Amanda.
All right. It's definitely not bad.
Okay.
I am definitely I would call myself a connoisseur of the half and half, the half iced tea, half lemonade. As I showed Katie before, I also came home with Snapple.
We have an alcoholic half and half and a non-alcoholic half and half.
I love fun drinks. I like to have a fun drink. And I don't even normally drink at home. I can't tell you the last time I had. Actually, the last time I drank at home was probably the last
when
time
drank.
We drank on a podcast together.
Nice.
So, yeah, I would. It's not like it doesn't have enough lemonade taste, I think, but it has like a tartness to it in a way. But the tart isn't lemonade.
Is it more like a lemon iced tea versus like lemonade and iced tea mixed?
It's more like a tart iced tea.
Interesting.
I wouldn't even say that the flavor is lemon. I would just say that it's a tart iced tea.
Interesting. Would you recommend?
I think that the tartness needs to resemble the taste of lemon more.
Okay, that's fair. But okay, so you wouldn't recommend until they change the recipe.
I mean, like, it's no twisted tea, half and half. Those are very good.
Okay.
But it's not awful. And I had read like what somehow on Reddit, like the Summer House Reddit, everybody ends up just like shitting on Loverboy throughout. Like it'll be a post about, I don't know, like the least connected person to Loverboy, like Danielle or something, and then like 5 replies down, it's like, but the aftertaste sucks. So I was like expecting it to have an aftertaste, and it doesn't. So
okay, good. I have had a Loverboy. I told you before we went live, like one of the hibiscus teas, and maybe one other one. I don't know if it's. I don't remember. I've tried like 1 or 2. They were both decent, but they do taste like Crystal Light with alcohol, which I'm not mad about, I guess.
No, me neither. But I'll definitely drink all this. It's one of the 4 beverages I have ready for this. Not alcoholic beverages, but just beverages that's on my desk for this podcast.
Perfect. I have beverages on my desk for this podcast too, but some of them have been sitting here for too long for me to want to drink them. I just haven't tidied up my desk in a few minutes, meaning like 24 hours. Okay. Well, shall we jump into episode 2 of Roni while you sip on your Loverboy iced tea? It's fitting because it all takes place out east.
They actually go to the Hamptons.
Yeah. We're already episode 2. We are in the Hamptons. Off the bat, I want to know, are you still feeling it as much as you were last week, or did your opinion shift?
Oh, I love it.
Okay, my opinion totally shifted into being like, I don't know about this.
Really? Why?
Yeah. I can't really put my finger on it. I can't really articulate it well. I think I shifted on some of the cast. I still love Uba. I still like Jenna. But here's the thing with Jenna. I'm a little annoyed that she's not going to share her partner on camera, which I understand. She was outed. I get it. But like, you're on a show and we're already starting off episode 2 being like, nope, I'm not talking about that on TV. I'm like, that's a rough start for me personally. I did feel like she was really open about like her mom and all the other stuff she was talking about and her story about being outed by the Post. But I want to know, like, if you're going to be on TV, I want to know you. And especially when it's your first season, I don't feel like we should be, I don't know what the word is I'm looking for, curating for the camera. Like, just let it happen. Just let it happen. Show yourself. Show who you are. And that your partner is a big part of your life. So I want to know about it.
Did you Google who she is?
No. Did you?
No, I meant to, and I forgot every time I went to. So I'm trying to do it right now.
No. While you do that, I'm not loving Sai. Last week I was liking Sai. This week I'm not loving Sai. It was a little too content creator, Instagram-y for me. And I was like, oh, we're doing this. We're like going balls deep on the influencer of it all. Of like, I'm bringing 13 bags to a 3-night trip.
I kind of appreciate that though, because like we would never get that with like old Roni. Like no one's, all of them have like a very, not all, but like a lot of housewives have a strong Instagram presence, but like a lot of them have the strong Instagram presence because they're housewives. So I think it's interesting that we're like catching it in the opposite direction. Like this woman's career is basically Instagram, and um that's like what's put her in the position to then be someone who can afford all these things and is on our screen. Like I don't need it to be the center point of her personality,
Yeah.
but I do think it's like an interesting change from what we see, um and a little bit more realistic because like I don't know, we're at the point where there are a lot of people who get to make that their career, and to like not ignore that fact I think is interesting.
I think you make a good point, but I also feel like in reality TV right now we're oversaturated with influencers and they're just not bringing anything interesting to the table for me. I'm sure Sai has more interesting things going on than being an influencer. So when I'm seeing like 13 bags of clothes for a 3-day trip or whatever, on the off season and we're taking curated martini photos at dinner. I'm like, I don't like this isn't a person I would want to be around in my life. So I don't know if I want to watch them on TV. If it's not put on for the camera. And if it is put on for the camera, then I have even more of a problem with it because I don't like it when people are like overproducing themselves. I just feel like Big Brother's all influencers, The Bachelor's all influencers. Now we're having influencers on our housewives. I'm like, I'm good on influencers. I'm good on it.
I get that. I do like though that the women like also call her on it. Like, why do you
Yes.
need this many clothes? Or like, oh my God, you're taking 18 pictures. And but also she leans into it as well. And she's like, I know I'm annoying taking this picture at dinner beforehand,
Yeah.
and doesn't like, to me, the worst type of influencer is someone who like ignores that is what they're doing with
Yeah.
the um like with their career, or like why they're just like doing things in general. I think of like I went to Camp No Counselors. It's an adult summer camp. I went to that
Hmm.
for a weekend, and this girl like wore the Snapchat glasses. Do you remember
Oh
those?
yeah. What year was this?
Um I mean, I was still living in Boston, so
Oh,
probably
okay.
like
So not recent.
20.
Okay.
No. Um and she like used it to record like the whole thing and like made content out of it, but would then like try to talk to you like she wasn't recording you, or like would you just see her like doing things that it's like it just came across like very fake, where
Yeah.
um to I don't know, it feels I'm not annoyed with her influencer lifestyle yet. I could get there. I can definitely get
Yeah.
there. But
I'm not
it
fully out
hasn't.
on her, but I'm not as in as I was last week. That's kind of where I'm at, I think. I don't know how in I was on Psy last week, but I'm less in than I was. I don't remember how I felt about her in the first week. I think we felt the lack of Bryn for sure, who wasn't feeling
Mhm.
well. Like she last week, I think brought a different kind of air to the group, where this week it
Mhm.
was just a little, it just felt like they didn't really know each other. And it was like this awkward, we're all going to this house we've never been to before, and we're staying at this house we've never been to before with people we don't really know. And that like really shone through to me this week. And
Mhm.
I don't like it when they don't have real relationships. And I felt like they really didn't have real relationships this week.
Yeah, I could understand that. I think I just like the fact that like no one hates each other right now. Like everything, they're at least like trending positive. And
Well, they may hate Jessel. And I would
yeah,
also hate Jessel if I were them.
yeah. I mean, she was the one that was like, "This is so ugly," right? Like I would never wear
Yes.
this. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. That was a lot.
And it was Jenna that gave them the lingerie.
Jenna brought them all lingerie, which I don't know if I missed the backstory as to why she brought them all lingerie, but she brought them all their own individual pieces of lingerie.
I mean, I'm not a girly girl in this way. I would find it weird that like anybody is buying me. I don't want anybody to even just buy me clothes. Like I don't even
Yeah.
want anyone to buy me a t-shirt because I am proportioned like a fucking Oompa Loompa. And so I don't need people like trying to guess my size and being polite. Like, mom, if you're listening to this, please do not try to get me clothes for Christmas. It just
I've been
hasn't worked
fighting my
out.
entire life to have my mom not buy me clothes for Christmas, and it hasn't worked out.
Oh, it's just like, what? When did you think that this ass is fitting into medium leggings? Like one leg might fit into both holes, like total. I don't know what you're doing, but like, thanks, I guess. They're literally sitting on my windowsill.
Oh, you
Uh,
have to at least get a store credit for them.
I just,
I know, it's a
I
whole thing.
didn't.
It's like a whole
Yeah.
thing. I get it. I get it.
Just don't do it in the first place.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, someone buying me lingerie is already like an uncomfortable thing. But then like nonetheless, it's a gift. Like wait until you're on a
I
podcast and to
know.
bitch about it and not right in their
Or
face.
like at least in your confessional.
Yeah, also true.
Yeah, that was rough. I mean, personally, I agree with you. I am not like that. I would have been very self-conscious to wear lingerie in front of people. I'm not like look at my body type and like more power to anybody that feels that way. I wish I was that type of person. I am just not. So like I feel like I wouldn't have had fun trying on the lingerie, especially with people that I don't know that well on television. I would have probably felt similarly to Jessel, but I just wouldn't have done it. Or I wouldn't have like come out of my room, but I definitely wouldn't have stomped around the house being like, I look like a Christmas tree and it's a size large. Why is it a size large? And I'm like, I get it. You don't want to see something that says size large, but like, we don't know where Jenna got it from. We don't know if she like picked it out individually for them or if it was like gifted to her. Like, I want to know more about where the lingerie came from.
Mm-hmm. Also, like,
and like, why?
Sizes are weird.
Sizes are weird. I don't know. Also, no, I was gonna say is lingerie better when it's too big or too small, but I don't. Either
Goldilocks,
one is probably not great.
Just right.
Yeah, it's got to be. Yes, it's got to be just right. It's got to be just right. What did you? Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever eaten caviar on Pringles before?
I've never eaten caviar before.
Would you?
I don't think so.
It's delicious. It's so good.
Can you describe it to me?
Yes, absolutely. And I'm so glad that you asked me this question.
Thank you for doing this because I've always wondered.
Okay, so I actually only had it somewhat recently for the first time. I was in California for a conference and I met up with my friend for the day and we had eaten this massive meal, but then we were looking for something to do and we saw a caviar bar and I'm like, I've never had caviar. And he's like, I haven't either. And said friend like makes bank for working for Facebook. So he's like, let's get caviar. It's on me. And so we sat down and had it and like we got like the mid-tier one. But the people who work there let us try like some of the lower tier ones and they definitely have like an ocean taste to them, the lower ones.
Okay.
But there's not really like a texture. You know those like the little balls that like float around in drinks sometimes that like
bubble tea, like boba?
Yeah, but like not as aggressive, like much smaller.
Okay.
And like you can't like you don't feel a pop. It kind of just like melts. And like the mid-tier ones, they tasted so good. They made these little like homemade pancakes and you put this like French type of cream on and then the caviar on top and it just completed this little pancake thing. So it almost tasted like butter in a way.
Interesting.
Yeah, I personally like texture doesn't really faze me in food. I think if you're like thrown off by soft foods that you could be like,
well, I don't like a banana or an avocado because of the mush of it all, but it's not mushy.
This almost like melts too fast to even get to like you're not like biting into.
So interesting. What is the flavor profile like? Is it salty? It
depends on what kind you're eating. So like the mid-tier ones didn't even taste salty. It was almost like butter. Like
so interesting.
But like not like if you were just pop like a butter square from a table at dinner like in your mouth, but like when added onto things, which also now makes sense for remember when they ate it on the baked potatoes and I was like, the fuck is this?
Yes.
Kathy and
yes, Kyle.
I was like, not Kim. There's another K.
Yeah. The least important. Sorry.
Right.
Kyle.
So like now it makes a little bit more sense because it's like a rich butter, like a rich person's butter. Like, oh, sorry, we don't have like Betty Crocker butter over here, but instead can I offer you this tin of caviar instead?
Okay, interesting. Maybe I would try it if I was in the right situation. But I would definitely, honestly, I'd eat anything on a Pringle.
Yeah.
So, yes, to answer your question. I mean, anything that like is within reason, you know. But yeah, I would. What did you think about this whole food situation? Erin keeps getting caught up in this like these situations where she's like either not providing people enough food or I don't really know, but like I am if I'm hosting people, which I don't do often, but if I do, I'm like over preparing. I have like way too much food. I like over purchase drinks and then I'm like stuck with it here forever because I'm like I have no way to rationally think about like how much people actually eat. I'm just like I need to have everything just because I don't want to be in that situation where people are like I'm starving and she didn't feed me. And I'm just surprised that like all she had was caviar and then she's like well they better like caviar. But she talked to them on the phone and she like didn't say oh all I have to eat is caviar.
Yeah. I mean, I love knowing what the food situation is before I get
Me too. I
somewhere
need to know the food situation.
because I'll hit up a McDonald's drive-through before
Me
I go
too.
somewhere to make sure that like if you only have these like little snacks, like you don't want me to be hungry there. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
And
I'm
so
insufferable when I'm hungry.
oh, same. I literally lost a pickleball game this weekend because I was thinking about how hungry I was at like too pivotal point. If I'm hungry, I just play awful and I just like drift off to think about what I'm going to be eating next. So I need to know a food situation if you want the best version of me there because like I'm not offended if that's all that you're providing. I'm offended if that's all you're providing and I don't know that because
Yes.
let me get a McChicken and fries on the way there.
Yes. Let me prepare. Matt, my partner, for anybody who's new listening, always gets annoyed at me because I will want to stop somewhere and get a snack on the way to go eat somewhere. Just in case, like, I'm like, well, I don't know what they're going to have. And if it's like a family party, I'm like, well, we're not going to eat right away when we sit down. Like, I'm starving now. I need a snack. It's all I'm thinking about is how hungry I am. Yeah. So I'm with you. I agree. So I would have been right there with Uba and everybody else that was like, we need to eat. Like, what? Especially coming out to the Hamptons, even though it's October and it's off season, it takes a long ass time to get from New York
there.
City to the Hamptons. A long
It's
ass
like
time.
what, 3.5 hours?
It depends on the traffic that you hit and like what time of day. It could be 2 hours, 2.5 hours. It could be three. It really depends on the traffic. It really could be, any time frame. It could be an hour and a half, maybe. I don't know. That might be stretching it, but could be close. Hour 45, maybe.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a crapshoot.
Just like the food situation.
Just like the food situation.
Yeah.
I don't know. Something wasn't hitting for me about it this week. I was going to ask you, did Sai remind you of the Charmin bears from the Charmin commercials? Because of her
carrying the toilet paper.
Yes, carrying the toilet paper. I just saw a commercial right before coming in here while I was eating dinner, and I was like, oh, it's Sai on this week's episode of Roni.
I thought it was weird because like all of these people come from the same echelon of class. You know what I mean? Like I can't think of the last home I can. I can think of 2 homes I've been to in my adult life and one of them is my parents that uses 1-ply toilet paper and that's just because my dad will save a penny anywhere he can. And so
But is he saving if you have to use more toilet paper?
Listen, I'm still trying to convince him that it's worth passing over playing on Family Feud. We get in that argument every time I go home. I can't bring up the toilet paper yet because then that becomes personal because these are decisions he's made. Honestly, for a while he like stole them from work, so it was like a wash anyway. But so
and offices love a 1-ply. Offices and hotels for some reason. I don't get it.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying. Like I can't think of a person's home that I've gone to.
Well, Erin was on Watch What Happens Live, and she didn't say she has 1-ply toilet paper, but she did say that she does buy organic toilet paper. So I feel like that's her way of saying that she did have 1-ply, but it was like organic, like not great. So she's like, yeah, no, I wasn't mad about it. I didn't have great toilet paper.
Is my toilet paper not organic? Like,
I have no idea. Mine is probably not. I think it's Charmin. I have no idea. I highly doubt it's organic.
Yeah, I think it's weird to show up to someone's house with that, and that's, like, the only thing you show up with. If you're gonna show up
Yes.
with something that could be mildly offensive to like that, then also show up with something that will counter the mildly offensive, unless
Sure.
the person deserves a base level of mildly offensive, but
Yes.
at this point, she doesn't.
Also, if you have time to pack 13 bags, like you could show up with a couple of bottles of wine or something.
Or snacks for
Or
yourself.
snacks. Yeah. Or I don't know, just a thought.
More Pringles.
Yeah. Um Anything from the dinner when they went out to dinner? Was there anything interesting there to talk about? I mean, we talked a little bit about Jenna. Even though I bashed Jenna lightly for not sharing her partner on the show, I did like Jenna this week. I didn't fall in love with Jenna in the first episode, but I think Jenna so far is my favorite after this week because she feels like the only one that's a real person, where the others are kind of just like, I don't know. I do like Uba a lot, actually, too. I think Uba and Jenna are my two favorites, but the rest I'm not sold on yet.
Well, I think it's because some of them, like, for example, who was it? And I still haven't learned everybody's names, so forgive me. But who was like, I used to look in people's brownstones, and now,
Sigh.
like, okay, that's who I thought, but I didn't want to say the wrong
Hmm.
thing. So, like, this is
Which is
someone who,
relatable.
oh, I'm
I
not taking
always look
anything
into
away from
people's,
that.
yeah.
Uh, Chicago, a lot of the like new apartments have like the full length
Hmm.
windows, so like they want you to look in.
Yeah,
But
you're inviting it.
yeah, so I think if you like compare a Psy to someone like a Jenna, where it's like Psy worked to get to have this like notoriety in a way where like it seems like Jenna's in a stage of her life where she was like, I would love anything but attention, except now she's on Real Housewives, but like kind of
Yeah.
like normalize herself as opposed to being like Jenna Lyons from J. Crew, who has an awful reputation amongst the service industry of
Yeah.
New York. Although I did see like someone say that she was the nicest person that they worked with
Oh,
when,
okay.
so who knows? I mean, she could have like paid them to tweet that, but whatever. So it feels like they're kind of like coming from two different directions where like Jenna's coming into Real Housewives with fame already,
Hmm.
where this is like Psy's chance to crack into a whole nother market that she hasn't before. And so I feel like you kind of see that difference in like Jenna's approach to being a Real Housewife
Yeah.
and the Psy's and the other one's approaches of being a Real Housewife.
Yes, I agree with you. I think what I like about Jenna is that she does seem like I like that it seems like she's struggling a little bit with showing her reels. Like she's like, I'm anxious and I don't really do girls' trips and it's like awkward for me. And I'm like, I'm the same. I am totally the same. I get it. I'm an
Mm-hmm.
introvert to the core on things like that. Like going on trips with a group of girls gives me total anxiety. I'm in my routine. So like I like that. And I like that she's not putting it on for other people. And I think it's interesting because she had the fashion world, we can say, maybe not like high fashion, but like she had them in a chokehold for a while. Like that J.
Mm-hmm.
Crew, Jenna Lyons aesthetic was like everywhere for a while. She's very well known. The GIF I used on, I'm sorry, are we calling it X or are we calling it Twitter?
I don't even know what social media I'm on anymore.
Yeah. Whatever's going on that website, is her on Jimmy Fallon, which it took a lot because I fucking hate Jimmy Fallon for me to choose that one, but I chose it. And I think it's interesting that like she can be that person out in the public, but then it's like now we're getting to know her and it's like, oh, she's like awkward and kind of weird, just like anybody
Mm-hmm.
else is awkward and kind of weird. Where I feel like the other girls are kind of putting it. Uba, I feel like we're getting her true self. Bryn, I want to see more of her just because like the first episode, I feel like I didn't get to know anything about her. And then she's not in the second episode. So it's like,
Mm-hmm.
what's going on? But the rest of them, I'm kind of like, meh, you're kind of putting on a personality so far in the show.
Mm-hmm.
Jessel, I don't really know what she's going for, but it's not great. And Erin, kind of same thing. I don't know. DM Rock says they heard about Erin treating her interns rudely at her business, which doesn't really surprise me. She gives me a vibe that's not nice.
You did call her Bethany Frankel.
Yeah, and Bethany Frankel is horrible, which I could talk about Bethany for a few minutes once we're done. But I have a lot to say about Bethany. But yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll wait and see.
I was happy with it. I mean, I don't have like high expectations for not that like I'm not if you take peak Real Housewives of New York, whatever you deem that to be, I'm not expecting it to be that, but this is just a refreshing change. And I also just think it's I mean, even though I've watched literally every single episode of Real Housewives at this point, I still consider myself like a newcomer because I've watched them all within the last like 2.5 years. I appreciate that it's a cast of people that are now closer to my age that are also like engaging in things that are a bit more like normal for us, like Ramona talking about social media. Like I don't need that. Like I just don't need it.
See, I'm the opposite of you. I don't want a housewife that's my age. I want the ridiculous. I want the older lady. I want like someone I can be like, whoa, this is like a very out of touch weirdo person that's like making a spectacle of themselves. I don't want to feel like I'm watching a bunch of Ginas from the OC where I'm like, I could be Gina right now. I'm like a nobody. And Gina's a nobody. Not that these women are nobodies. I do think that they're a higher caliber than Gina, but we could slip. We could slip.
I don't know if I could. I don't have any sort of fashion or desire to not be in a crew neck sweatshirt. So
no, I get that.
Yeah, I was like, I enjoyed watching it. There wasn't anything that brought out like a ugh type of feeling. So I'm actually like trending high on like Bravo this week in general.
Me too, in general. This is the thing I think I felt the most, well, this and Crappy Lake, actually, I felt the most down on my Sunday night. Because I watched Atlanta on Monday. But I do, I also just want to say, like, can we stop judging people for their sex lives with their husbands?
Oh.
I didn't love that.
Yeah.
Everybody's different. Can we just like stop shaming people for, I mean, obviously Jessel and her husband, there's stuff going on there. And I think she will be the first, their relationship will be the first casualty of the show. But I think just generally the housewives are a little too judgmental about that type of thing.
Yeah. It's also like very early into their, but again, I don't really know what their actual prior friendships are or whatever. So
I think I'm convinced that none of them knew each other or were friends until they started filming with the other housewife that got fired.
Got it.
Or whatever is no longer. I don't know if she got fired or what, but I think there's like a month or so of history, maybe.
Got it.
That's kind of the vibe I get.
Okay. Yeah. But I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, just like let her live, okay? She just had twins. Twins? I think.
I don't know.
2 kids.
Now
whatever.
Kids.
Yeah, no, me too. Too many kids on the show, by the way. I don't need toddlers on my housewives.
There's not a lot of husbands right now, which is nice. Like
that is nice. Please keep the husbands as far away as possible. Yeah. Well, speaking of keeping husbands as far away as possible, should we shift gears to Crappy Lake?
Yeah. Let's do it.
I think I'm over it.
Welcome. We have jackets. We have caviar on Pringles. And
it's not that I'm hating it, but I found myself just like sitting on my phone through the whole episode and not being interested. Maybe it was just a bummer of just a flop of an episode, but I just was like, all right, the first 2 were fun. Kind of over this.
So what's funny was of all the episodes, this is the one that I was like, I'm watching this because of due diligence, but it was the one that I tolerated the most. And
interesting.
I think because it focused less on like
Richard,
Luann being peak Luann and Sonia being peak Sonia, but instead there was a lot of interaction with like the people in the town, and it seemed a lot less like forced or even just like that separation, like how they keep calling them like celebrities and like royalty. It's like, get out. I get that like by a technicality that Luann is a countess or whatever, but also stop it. So I felt like a lot less of that, and just it was a bit more tolerable. But this show for me is always I mean, I usually have it on while I'm working.
Yeah.
So it's not something that I'm like, let me sit and give this 100% my attention.
Yeah, I get that. This feels like it should be a Peacock only, drop every episode, let me binge it, because it's not something that's going to keep me coming back every week. The first two episodes, I was like, I wish I could binge this. I love it. This is giving me everything I need. Then, like, the third one, I was like, okay, which is the one where they did the lemonade? Was it this week or last week? Where Luann helped the kids
I
sell the
think it was
lemonade.
last week. This week
See,
they
that was
did
fun.
auditions for the talent show.
Right. But I feel like every episode has been auditions for the talent show.
It's just going to end up being Luann doing cabaret anyway. So, like, I don't know why we're auditioning people.
Yeah, which, like, I would watch. I've seen it in person. It was great. I would see it again. I don't know. It was just like a little kind of boring this week. I don't know how many episodes it's going to be, but
hopefully 8.
Probably. I can't imagine more than 8. But they were there for 5 weeks.
Oh shit, it's going to be like
that's a long time.
That's like a challenge season.
I know, that's a long time. They were on Watch What Happens Live the night of the premiere of Crappy Lake, Sonia and Luann. And Sonia said that she brought a bunch of the people from that town to stay at her townhouse, and that they like all keep in touch, which I thought was kind of nice.
I love hearing that.
Yeah. It's like they actually forged like relationships with the people in that town, which is nice. But that's not what I want. I want mess and just like something I can laugh at. And genuine relationships and friendships and growth don't make me laugh. They bore me.
And that's funny because I think like that's why I tolerated this episode the most.
I know you and I are so opposite. Our housewives opinions.
What we want to see on TV. Yeah, I mean, I was like, oh, this wasn't a bad episode. I'm so appreciative that they're 21 minutes long, though. Thank you, bravo, for not.
It feels like they just end very abruptly, though. Right?
I did think that.
I was like, oh
shit, did I miss the ending? And so I like rewound. I'm like, no, there's just that's it.
I also felt like that in multiple episodes this season of Real Housewives of Orange County, including this week's. I was like, oh, the episode's over. This is weird.
I don't know if I remember feeling that. I know I felt that way for Crappy Lake. I can't remember if I thought that for Orange County.
Strange editing going on, but we'll get there when we get there. Any other final thoughts on Crappy Lake or anything New York related? Can we talk about Bethany for a minute?
Oh, sure.
Did you listen to or read any of the stuff that has come out about her podcast or her podcast with Jill that she dropped on the night of the Roni premiere?
Oh, so someone on like one of the subreddits said that they were like giving, you know how people will listen and give you like the rundown of what happened?
Yes. Bless anybody who does that, by the way.
I almost wanted to say something so fucking shady. Oh, I can't. This isn't the right venue for it, but I will tell you after.
Okay.
In that this person instead just basically like transcribed the podcast.
Yes.
So I started reading what I thought was going to be a summary, and I got like a couple paragraphs in. I'm like, there's too much here. I can't commit to reading all this. And I quit and forgot about it until this very moment.
Well, so I read that, and that person, shout out to whoever that person is on Reddit, who did that, was like, this was like a chaotic conversation. So they ended up just like basically transcribing it instead of, because what I had heard or read about it is that Jill didn't want to do it unless there would be no editing. I guess she's very big on this. Remember when she was recording the phone? Oh, you probably don't remember because this was before your time. She went on Watch What Happens Live and she brought her phone and or a recorder and recorded the interview with Andy. So she could leak it in case they gave her a bad edit. Yeah, and like Andy, I think hates her forever because of that. Like whatever. But
he didn't know.
No, I guess he found out after the fact, but he knows now. He knew, but he found out after the fact. I think she came in for a sit down or something. I have to refresh my memory on what exactly happened. But yeah, she wanted to do it with no editing. And apparently there was no editing. It was just like them. And you know how the two of them communicate with each other. They're chaotic. So It sounds like they are trying to rekindle their friendship, maybe, but Bethany finally admitted that she crashed Bobby's funeral. And Jill did not know that there were going to be cameras there and said Bravo just did it because they knew she wasn't going to sue.
So
she never signed a release.
In the clear.
Yeah. Based on what Dorinda was fighting with her about at Bluestone Manor about exploiting Bobby's funeral. But didn't they say on that reunion that Bethany crashed the funeral with cameras? And the other girls were pissed because they didn't know Bethany was filming, but they were also there and it like made them look bad. That's something like that. I think Bethany said.
I don't remember. I just remember a lot of people coming at Jill being like, you allowed them to film his funeral. And she was like, no, I didn't. And no one believed her.
Yeah, no one believed her. But she said she didn't sign a release. And then Bethany was like, oh, wow, maybe they did crash a funeral. And she's been, and I guess now, I don't know what this has to do with that podcast, but now she's trying to put together a reality TV star union.
Oh my gosh. I'm pro unions, but not this.
Me too. And listen, I get it. Some of the stuff that she said in one of the probably many TikToks that she made, I only watched one of them. I can't really stomach her for too long. She was talking about contracts and how they put like something called the Bethany clause, which I don't know if that's probably not the real name, but so Bravo would get a cut of any business that's promoted on the show for eternity, which is fucked up. But I know a lot of businesses do that. I've had jobs that have done that before. As like if you develop something,
well, yes,
yeah, you're getting
a sidebar. Is my roommate who was like, "Why did you get this?" I was like, "Okay, so I binge watched Summer," and he's like, "Wait, what?" And I do. It was a whole like Scooby-Doo episode of Summer. You know when they like run in one door and come out the other. Like that was the way to depict me trying to explain like. So the end reason that I bought Loverboy was because I've watched a lot of Bravo. Yeah.
It all ties back to Bravo. Everything does. Yeah, I don't know. I just thought it was interesting, but I guess they didn't have that clause in place when Bethany came up with Skinny Girl. So, and then sold it for a fuck ton of money, a metric fuck ton of money, and Bravo lost out
to be a shark on Shark Tank.
Yeah, which she's actually embarrassing as a person, but I do think the Be Strong stuff, she did a lot of good, and I think if she puts that energy into whatever she's trying to do here, if people want it, need it, I don't know enough about it, but I just figured it was worth mentioning. She did say like all the housewives should be paid the same. Maybe they should, maybe they shouldn't. I don't know. Gina to me shouldn't be making like, I'm sorry, I'm really like ragging on Gina, but truly like, how is she still on the show? Shouldn't be making Lisa Vanderpump money.
I think it's also difficult because you have people who come in for a season and then you have people like Candy or Kyle or Teresa who've been there forever, and to justify that they all make the same. I mean, like as a former teacher, if a year 1 teacher is making the same as me as a year 10 teacher,
or maybe they have standardized contracts, like it's like this is your year 1, this is your whatever, but like just give more transparency to it. We'll see where we go with it. But she was like, I've spoken to hundreds of people and they all tell me I'm right. All the lawyers tell me I'm right. And I have nothing to gain from this, so that I'm the perfect person to organize a union. I'm like, this is a lot of energy. But she's been kind of coming for Andy too, a little bit. So I don't know what's going on there really.
Guess we'll see.
Yeah, I guess so. The ladies of Roni are always making noise somewhere, somehow.
Whether it's in the Hamptons or wherever Bethany Frankel is today, but
wherever she is, who knows? But okay, let's we can travel down the coast, I guess, to the Real Housewives of Atlanta. What do you think about this week so far? We're in Portugal.
I have some takes.
Okay, I'm ready for your takes.
We got a glimpse of what this looks like with no Candy, no Kenya. And it was probably the most like digestible episode of the season.
Yeah.
And we had someone, if you're listening to the person, I can't remember your username on Twitter, reply to us being like, well, get rid of like Marlo and Sheree. I'm sorry, but this week, like, kind of seals it for me. Even if you don't get rid of Candy, because even when Candy was there and there was no Kenya, still good. Or like better than what we've been seeing. And so this week to me, let me know that Kenya needs a year or two off. And if Candy takes
Kenya
a year
had
or two
a year or
off
two off. Maybe it's just, well, I agree with you. I think Candy was on Watch What Happens Live, and I actually watched her on Watch What Happens Live before watching the episode.
Mm-hmm.
And she was great on Watch What Happens Live. And I was like, okay, see, when Candy's like this, I really like her. But I don't know if it's like Kenya that's bringing her down, or just like she felt people were going to use her as a storyline, so she was reacting more, or like, I don't know. But I just am not the Todd of it all. Every year a new business. It's not interesting to me. And like, if that's all you're giving, then I don't want it. But like when she's actually having genuine relationships with the people around her, I enjoy it. And I think the problem is Kenya is not genuine on the show. And I agree when they were doing that healing stuff and doing the painting and everyone was like, this is wonderful. That if whoever said it, I don't remember who said, like, you know, Candy and Kenya haven't been here. That's why we've all been getting along.
Yeah.
Kenya would have made something up and like made it super dramatic and like made a spectacle out of it, because like she would have put on some kind of like theatrical thing just to do it for the show. Where I do feel like Candy is way more open to just like genuinely having relationships with people, where Kenya, I feel like, is just trying to make a moment.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you can see some of Candy's concerns on like the Marlo cam part of the episode, where it's like they're all around having a good time, and then someone comes at Candy for Candy saying like what she saw as the truth, and like they very much jumped on, like, this also happened however many years ago, and I don't even think Candy initially brought it up. It's just that Candy was like, yeah, this is what I saw. She agreed to whatever was said, and then it's like, let's jump on Candy. And it just feels like, I know I'm a Candy defender, but that's kind of been a little bit of a trend, because also Candy's going to react, and she isn't around enough this season to build up the relationships to have other people help be like, shut the fuck up. Marlo's not on her side right now. I mean, if like Drew and Kenya are your two biggest supporters, people really aren't fans of Kenya right now. Like, no one's going to really have sympathy for you if you're not giving them the time. And the people who have your back are also just being tumultuous.
Yes. I thought it was interesting. There were a couple of times in this episode when they were at dinner and Candy was talking about how she, I guess, like coming from not having money and now having money, like she doesn't feel like she's at a place where she can just like stop, or like she's not fully made yet, or I forget how she exactly phrased it. But Marlo was like supportive of her, even though it just seemed like Marlo was like saying things that were like, you're more made than like anybody, you know, like it seemed like she was being supportive of Candy. And then even in that camera scene after the phone camera, which I think was Marlo's phone, right?
It was.
She was like, you'd be dead before you lie. And like had Candy's back. And I was like, what's happening here? I'm so confused at like where these people stand with each other. But yeah, I thought that was interesting. But you're right. You're right.
I also think it shows like Marlo is willing to, like, she's not going to say something just because she's mad at you in that moment. Or like, you can take Marlo's word for what it is and not for what people try to make it seem to be. But I think Marlo's always been like that. It's just that we haven't had maybe like enough exposure to her or to see like both sides of a situation.
Yeah, I think
to
that's
then
what
be
it
like,
is.
yes, if Marlo's saying this, like, we can probably take this as pretty reliable.
I don't know if I necessarily believe everything that Marlo says, but I do feel like Marlo has kind of proven that she'll be like, reactive in the moment or something, but she will also just kind of like wipe it off her shoulder to a point. I think she'll make shady comments and whatever and like take digs, but I do think like with the Candy situation, like we said, like there are a few moments where she was supportive, or like even with Drew, like she'll have conversations with Drew even though they've had issues in the past and whatever. Whereas I think Kenya, when she's involved, Kenya's not the type to like allow that. So where Marlo has maybe tried to like have a more chill moment with Kenya, Kenya won't allow it to happen. Like at the dinner before they went on the trip, when Sheree, the healing dinner or whatever, Marlo was trying to have a conversation and Kenya was just like being obnoxious. That to me feels like it's fully for the show. Like I don't feel like we know who Kenya is as a person.
Or that's what Kenya's become. I mean, we've seen stories from her at like BravoCon just being like incredibly rude to fans and everything. And so
yes. You know, it's funny. Andy was asking questions to Candy, and Erin from the new Roni was on with Candy. And one of the questions was like, who's the rudest on the cast to fans? And it was like you have to tell the story or drink. Coconut milk, I think, which was weird. Because Uba took the coconut milk from Candy drank the coconut milk because she was going to say Kenya.
Mm-hmm.
If it was anybody else but Kenya, because Kenya's her friend, I think she would have said it.
Mm-hmm. I have a second take that I'm interested to see your reaction.
Okay, I'm ready.
I think I like Sonia.
I think I like Sonia too.
Oh my God, really? I wasn't expecting that at all.
I think I like her too.
I think she's done, especially this season when it's been needed, she's been the cohesive one. She's been the one that's been able to go to different people and have worthwhile conversations, and it doesn't seem fake either.
Yep.
I do think she can kind of get caught up a bit. That happened with Candy when she was like, dude, what the fuck? We like went to Disney World together and you're taking their side. And I think like she needs to learn how to navigate it maybe a little bit better. But I do think that she is doing the work that someone needs to on this season to
she's building a bridge.
Make it like watchable, honestly.
If we didn't have Sonia, I feel like the sides would be it would be like I'm trying to think of where like one of the seasons is, or we have sides like with Erica and Rinna on one side and Kyle all on one side, whatever they're called. What are they called? The Fab Force
Fox
5 or Fox 5 or that's what it would feel like to me with Kenya and Candy and Drew. To a point, Moneta, I guess I like Moneta, but I just can't tell like where she's. I know she's Candy's friend, so of course she would side with Candy, but I am feeling the exact same way about Sonia. It feels like her relationship with Marlo is genuine. They have a friendship. Same with Sheree. Like I like that.
Yeah,
I still don't care about her family though.
Yeah, that is when she's at her best, is when we're not hearing about like Deuce or her husband or her family that's going to move out. But I did kind of appreciate where she was like, I need to stop trying to hold on to this like the family situation she created, because to be fair, a lot of it was centered around when she was like touring the world, running as like one of the fastest women in the entire world, and now you're going to Portugal and like doing sound baths. Like your life is not the same anymore. It's truly not. So I did like, it doesn't surprise me that she came to that realization, but I did appreciate like hearing her say that. But yeah, this episode especially was like, I think I like her now. I think I do.
Yeah, no, me too. I felt the same. And it just felt like she was good at connecting the group and building a bridge and making it feel like more of a cohesive unit. And it seems like she's built actual relationships with some of the women, which is nice to see.
And the only thing that I think I really like rolled my eyes at this episode, which I've done a lot of this season, I have mentioned a few times that like this is probably my least favorite Atlanta season ever so far, was when Sheree fucking brought up She by Sheree again. Like, when someone very courteously, I think it was Candy, was like, okay, so how's Drop It with Drew going? And then she turns it. Oh, Marlo was like, oh, I have to like subscribe. I'm never gonna do it. But and then she's like, well, I don't
Yeah.
see any of your names on She by Sheree. Like, bitch, they tried to
Yeah,
buy
I know.
something
She's a
like
mess.
over a decade ago and couldn't because it didn't come out till last year. And your shit's too expensive. Like, that's
Yeah.
really it. No one wants your. I could make that on. Oh God, what's that website? This
Oh,
would have been
like
a better
Teespring.
joke. Yeah, like whatever website it is, I
Yeah.
can make that for like $20.
Yeah. I'm done with She by Sheree. I don't care about it anymore. Let's let it go. Sheree. Like, I'm not saying like you need to let it go, but like I don't want to talk about it anymore. Like we said last week, it's been since season 2 that we've been talking about She by Sheree. Like, we need to be done with it. We don't care. When she's not talking about She by Sheree, I do enjoy Sheree, but like she has this hill that she needs to die on for some reason, and I'm over it. I don't care. Um I rolled my eyes a couple of times this episode. That was one of them. The second time I rolled my eyes, I don't know if this is chronological or not, but let's go with it, was when Ralph's cousin, the friend of whose name I don't recall, Courtney?
That's his cousin. Oh yeah. I forgot about that.
They like
Yeah,
just found out, but then she's like,
yeah,
that's my cousin. Yeah.
yeah.
Courtney, is that her name? Courtney? I think.
There is a Courtney.
Okay, so then yes, it's Courtney. Said that Kenya fell because of karma. That was
Oh my
wild.
God.
That was wild to me. I was like, this girl's really saying this right now. This girl is really saying
And
that
of all
Kenya
people
fell
to
because of karma.
say it to is Drew.
Drew, who's friends, I think, with Kenya. I don't know. That was bizarre to me. I was like, wow, okay, we're going there. And also, another time I rolled my eyes was when Moneta was like, don't they know that they have VIPs at the hospital? And I'm like, okay, she fell. She's fine. She's not dying. You think you want to put her ahead of the people who are dying just to get her out of the hospital sooner? And I did feel for Candy that she had to sit on her last day in Portugal, like her only 2 days that she was there or whatever, spend the entire day in the hospital. That sucks.
I also thought it was just insulting to the country of Portugal because like
Yeah. They're making it
Portugal's not
seem
a
like
third world country.
yes, and that's
that
the
you're
way they made
being
it seem.
brought to like some tent that
Right.
like yeah. I have a friend who is a doctor in Spain, and not saying that Spain and Portugal are the same place, but like sometimes I DM him on Instagram to be like, tell me I'm not going to die. And he'll tell me, and I trust him and I'm still alive. So, like,
Yeah.
I'm assuming the country right next to it that also has more coastline is like, has some rich people there. And that
Yeah.
when they were making like, oh my God, she's like, I'm so happy. Listen, I am sure there are way worse hospitals in this good old US of A than there
Yep.
are the one that you were in Portugal. I
Absolutely.
was like, this is kind of weird that we're
Yeah, we're
coming
kind
at
of
this
like
from this
doing a lot
angle.
here. Yeah.
Also, just like no emergency room is fun or like nice. It is meant to triage patients
Right.
and get them in and out as soon as possible.
Right. That was bizarre to me. That was bizarre. It was a weird take. And lastly, I rolled my eyes at what's going on with Drew. And listen,
Oh, I didn't roll
don't
my eyes
make
at that.
me well, I
I
rolled my
laughed.
eyes.
I
You
laughed.
laughed.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think it's funny.
Oh, I think this whole thing is like, I don't think it's funny that she's getting divorced, but I just thought it was like funny how they
Oh,
kind
I
of
think it's funny that she's getting divorced. I just don't think it's funny that they're outing her.
I was kind of laughing more at like the edit of it all.
Yeah.
And that's like, maybe I should rephrase. I laughed when it's like 3 months later and I was just like, "Oh shit." Like that's kind of what made me laugh. I don't yeah, the outing part of it I'm not a fan of whatsoever. I don't think that
Yeah.
is right. And if you want to get me going on a different Peacock show, Temptation Island, I can talk about that for a bit.
Oh my goodness.
um, I am all over the place in my reality TV
You
viewing these
are. I'm
days.
impressed.
So, no, I just laughed when they were like 3 months later, but I think I also laughed because I'm getting what I want, which is we know Drew is getting divorced.
Yeah, and they're showing it. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's being integrated, not like in the moment chronologically it happens in
Mm-hmm.
filming, but like, oh look, here's all this shit that's going down that are like precursors to what's going to happen. Thank you. That's what I want. Treat me like the on the internet individual that I am.
Yes, that I agree with. I feel for her the way that she was like really upset talking about it in the confessional and like just the way that she was reacting. It just feels like they being the show, they being the cast, I don't really know how it ends up coming out. I guess, I mean, Marlo filming that conversation was one thing, but then of course it was talked about at the reunion. Like I feel for her because whatever is, and like, listen, I don't want to feel for Drew, okay? So like, it takes a lot for me to get there. But oh my God, I just spilled soda. I'm fine. I just feel bad for her that she has to be forced into something that she's obviously not ready to talk about
I
for
also
the sake of
didn't
the show.
realize until that moment that like that's supposedly why they got divorced.
Neither did I.
So yeah, I didn't realize that, but it definitely made me laugh when it was like, oh, we're gonna do this.
Yeah.
So no, I mean, I'm definitely interested to see it though, because like Ralph sucks. So I don't
Ralph
blame you.
Sucks, but I want it to be Ralph's. I don't want it to be Ralph's fault in the sense that like he's hurting Drew. I just want Ralph to get like what's coming to him because he sucks, and they're making it seem like they're getting divorced because of Drew, and that sucks. Like it seems like the spin is like, oh, Drew was having a relationship with a woman, so now we're getting divorced. Which I'm like, damn, they're really. Maybe it is Drew's fault. I don't know. I don't really know what's going on, but I just feel for her if it's like, okay, she's not ready to talk about it and she's getting forced into it.
Yeah, I agree with that part. But I also hope she comes around to be ready to talk about it because I think there's less likely she finds herself in a situation like this if Ralph doesn't suck. So
yes, I agree with that as well. I just want everybody to be respectful. I hope that they handle it with her respectfully. And unfortunately, the history of tells me that that's not going to be the case. And I'm not only talking about Real Housewives of Atlanta, I think has had this stigma. Potomac has it. So does Beverly Hills with what happened with Denise and Brandy. And they treated that like, I don't like that. I don't like that we make this stuff storylines sometimes. I just think it's like a little over the line.
Yeah. Do you think that Drew was so emotional because she's projecting? Like, so one of the last times really she went away with the cast on like a legit trip was when this interaction with another woman may or may not have happened.
Yeah.
And now like, okay, Ralph's away on a trip and he knows, so like is he gonna do it? Like, do you think that there's like projection?
I'm sure. And I'm sure there's just other stuff. I mean, like, we know what happened with Ralph and the masseuse. We know, like, I guess we never found out what happened when he went to Tampa, right? Like, we don't know. So it's like, he doesn't have a great track record either. So I don't blame her for not being comfortable with him going to Vegas with a woman who is like rubbing him down for a music video. For her music video, I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know, I guess.
I also want to give some props to Drew. Valencia, who we love, shed some light to me that she played T-Boz in the TLC movie. And I looked at Drew's IMDb, much like Taylor Armstrong did, to Heather Dubrow. And I was impressed. So I kind of like, I slightly walk back my feelings from last week of like, really, you want to have a legitimate movie, so you casted Drew? Or you cast Drew? She has a very impressive IMDb. So like, shouts to her.
That's why Candy went and scene at the dinner.
Yeah. Yeah. I know, that was pretty funny.
Yeah. My in conclusion on this week of Atlanta is like, okay, are we going to continue moving in a positive direction from here? And I think like part of it will be how they hi Glances.
For my soda. My soda spill.
How they like handle Drew's story, but also like get some control of like Kenya. Honestly, this
Yeah.
this sans Kenya for the most part episode has been our best one, and I love Candy. I've always been a fan of Kenya. However, my opinions are my opinions. I'm not gonna say facts are facts, but I don't think I'm wrong.
I don't think you're wrong either. I don't think you're wrong either. I agree. Sorry, I'm just tidying up a little bit here.
More ASMR. Put the microphone by it. Cleaning
from my Diet Coke.
Cleaning
Casualty. It's fine. It was like a little spill, but sometimes little spills are like the most annoying. They just get in crevices. But we're fine. We're good. It didn't touch any technology, so we're okay.
That's the most important part.
Yeah.
I say that as someone who had a laptop fall casualty to a beer.
Yeah. I had a laptop fall casualty to a coffee once. It was rough. Yeah.
It wasn't my fault, which is the worst part. At least then I could take ownership for it. This one has Apple Care due to that situation.
Do they cover it?
No, because I didn't have Apple Care for the last one.
I didn't think Apple Care covered liquid.
They said you get 3 opportunities to fix it.
Oh, okay. Great.
And I was like, perfect, because we already had strike 1. So
yeah, we don't want Loverboy to be strike 2.
Yeah, hopefully there's no foul balls in this situation.
No. Any last thoughts on Atlanta before we move to Orange County?
On the plane to LAX.
Yeah.
My dreams and my cardigan.
My cardigan. I rewatched the episode today because I forgot almost everything that happened. But despite me saying that, I'm enjoying the season.
Yeah, I think my strongest take builds on one that I made last episode, which is I like that the women are aware of who Tamra is. I think that is shaping Tamra's return in such a better way than like a lot of the other seasons that we've had with her, because she got away with shit and I don't think she's getting away with shit, but it's adding a level of drama and entertainment because people are speaking up and speaking back. Like Emily just coming out, and Emily's doing great for me as a housewife. Like,
yeah, I'm not mad at her outside of maybe if she's QAnon.
Oh, right. I always forget about that.
I've tried to research it. I forget where I landed, but I know that it's alleged.
Mm-hmm. Assuming she isn't.
I'm going to assume she is, but as a housewife, I understand what you mean. She's doing what needs to be done, despite her personal affiliations with Q.
Yes. I think it's just adding such a great dynamic to this season. Like, we're getting Tamra's bullshit, but we're also getting worthwhile reactions to Tamra's bullshit. And I like seeing it.
Yeah, I would go so far to say that I'm impressed by Jen coming back at Tamra at dinner. I'm disappointed that Tamra didn't take her seasons off and do some reflecting around like what got her removed from the show, because I feel like she's doing the same exact thing that she did the last couple of seasons where everybody was like, I'm really tired of Tamra doing too much. And she like amped it up to like, now she's throwing napkins in people's faces. And I'm just like, this is really a lot what you're doing, and seemingly for no reason. Like, why are you continuously attacking Jen over and over and over again about her relationship? Like, why are you making it your problem? Who cares? Take Shannon's approach. She might be an idiot, but let her figure it out on her own.
Yeah.
That's what needs to happen. You're not helping anybody.
I do have to compliment Tamra on something.
Okay.
How well she threw that napkin was impressive. Those are not simple things to throw. And to get it to like hit where she wanted it to be able, because I can't remember how she approached it. As someone who loves to throw things, I appreciate this stuff. Oh, yeah. I mean, I played softball and
right, that's
dodgeball.
true.
Like that was like my form of stress relief for a long time. So how well she threw that napkin, I was very impressed by, because there's no way that like in Jen's confessional when she threw the napkin at the camera,
that was the first try.
Yeah, there's no fucking way.
I liked it. I liked Jen's napkin play more than
I
Like,
thought it was corny, but
oh, I liked it. I was like, oh, an unexpected prop in the confessional. Okay, Jen.
So yeah, I just want to say, like, for Tamara to throw that well, I'm impressed by that. I have to give props where props are due at the napkin prop.
Yeah, good for Tamara. She's
Putting that out
probably
there.
practiced often, I would say, for her dramatic moments.
You think so?
Yeah, she doesn't give me like genuine, I don't know.
There's like Real Housewives training, and you have to throw
Yeah.
different tableware items.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, 100 reps. Napkins, go. Forks, go. Glasses,
Yeah, it's like
go.
a boot camp. Yeah, that's what I picture.
You missed
Someone with
your
like a
target
whistle
again.
blowing, and you have to like run to another table and like throw something or flip it, and then yeah, that's what I'm picturing.
Get down and put that stiletto
Yeah.
on in 30 seconds or less. Go.
Yes. Yeah.
Hire me for all your Housewives boot camp needs. I'm preparing the curriculum now.
Yeah. Honestly, I would do it. I would fail miserably, but it sounds like fun.
Experience anything once.
Yeah. Were you or were you not slightly triggered by the fact that we were back at Nobu? Hosted by Heather.
Okay, first of all, going in on a fucking Barbie boat.
What the hell was that boat?
That was like the Power Wheels Jeep version
Yeah.
of a boat.
What like I'm surprised that even stayed afloat. That was not a glamorous boat. Like send everybody a car. Get a Sprinter van. Why do we have so much boat work happening in Orange County?
I don't know. But
and they all wear very big shoes on these boats.
Say that one more time because my Wi-Fi got weird.
Oh, I just said they wear very big shoes on these boats.
Oh, yes. I don't know. I can't even think of Nobu because of the boat, but have we been at Nobu before? Because wasn't the Nobu catered brought to our house?
Yes. And we went to Nobu, I think, before going to the house so she could think about the menu last season. But I'm just like, all right, we're doing a lot with the Nobu when you threw away $30,000 worth of sushi last year. We're really doing this again? Let us forget about that. Don't remind us of you wasting $30,000 of Nobu sushi. Any sushi.
Connection to Nobu is my question, because like I've gone to Nobu and you're Heather Dubrow. So like why are you so in love with Nobu? Given I only went to Nobu because all the reality TV people go to Nobu, but nonetheless, I could go to Nobu right now if I wanted to. Like I'm going to hang up this podcast, change out of a crew neck sweatshirt and go to Nobu. Why is
I could do the same.
Heather Dubrow's choice of like, and then we're going to take the Barbie boat over to Nobu and have like personalized chopsticks there.
Oh my God, the chopsticks. I feel in my mind that because, and I don't know anything about Orange County, but I feel like it's because they're not in LA. So you can't really say a name of another restaurant that's like well known in LA or New York that would have that kind of like a, and like you said, it's like, yes, it's an expensive restaurant. I've never been, but that doesn't mean I can't go. I just have never gone. I mean, there's Nobu in New York. I could easily go, like you said, hang up this podcast and go. But maybe because there's no other like status, quote unquote, I'm doing air quotes for anybody listening to audio only, restaurant that people would know who watch Bravo, who would make it seem like, oh, this is an expensive restaurant. Mm-hmm. Like The Quiet Woman isn't giving us what Nobu's giving us, but I would argue that it's giving us a lot more.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree with you.
So, that's my assumption, is just that it makes her seem
it has status. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just seems like I would almost want to hear the name of like a place that isn't a chain across major cities in America, because then it's like, ooh, what's this fancy place?
Me too. Or like bleep the restaurant out and then I will go search for it on the internet until I find out what you're talking about and I'll want to know more. Yeah. Yeah, the chopsticks and what was it, the candle that said something about shoveling shit?
Yeah.
I loved all of the confessional moments. talking shit about this. This was my favorite. The fact that everybody's done with Heather Dubrow's bullshit, I've been waiting for years. I have been waiting for this moment. The way that you are saying that like people aren't letting Tamara get away with her stuff, I'm like, thank you to the Bravo gods that people are finally like, I've been shoveling shit for my entire life. You don't see me put in chopsticks. I'm like, thank you, please, that we're not doing this with her again and letting her be like the boss of everyone because she has money.
I liked Gina's when she's like, how did she already get this? Yes. I haven't even unpacked. And that's like so real because I am awful at unpacking when I get home for a trip. So I was like, I would be the same exact way. They were home 4 days ago and she has these like personalized candles already.
Yeah. And I loved Emily just being like, she's so unaware of how unaware she is. Like, I've never met a more unaware person. And I'm like, finally. And they're all making fun of her for talking about like, I'm so grateful for people who shovel shit. Like, this was her moment to see like what the normal people do, shovel shit.
Right. Yeah, I think it's nice that we are getting people who are like far less mesmerized by Heather Dubrow to now look at her as a person and realize like, oh, she was sparkly because of like what she has, not because of who she is.
Yes, 1,000%. Yes. And I mean, you know how I feel about Heather. She's my least favorite on the show for sure, even though I've been maligning Gina this whole entire time. It's really Heather that is my number one enemy. And I'm just happy to see her finally getting what I feel like she deserves, which isn't really even that much yet. I do think that she is like, does end up being kind of like the pariah of the season, and I'm ready for it. I know she's on the outs with most of the women. In current day. She also bought 2 homes in LA. She was on in LA and Beverly, a home in Beverly Hills.
I meant to tell you that she was on Selling Sunset this most recent season.
Ugh.
She bought the house from someone at the Oppenheimer group.
Interesting.
Yes.
No relation to the Oppenheimer movie, I would assume.
Honestly, every time I saw people mention that movie, I just thought of Selling Sunset because I'm not going to go see the movie. But I did just binge watch all 6 seasons of Selling Sunset.
So it's like the same thing. It's your own version of Oppenheimer.
Yeah, truly. Yeah. I've got the Barbie boat because I'm not going to go. I know people, I'm not trashing the Barbie movie by any means. I'm just not going to go see it.
It was great.
No, I've heard amazing things. I just don't ever want to watch a movie. I'll watch 50 episodes of fucking Love Island in a week. I am with you.
I hate movies.
I don't want to watch a movie.
Barbie was worth it, I will say.
Can you talk for a minute? Because I feel like my sinus infection just came back in like full force. No, it's fine. I'm just going to go mute so that people don't have to hear me blow my nose. So I have to run out of the room for a second, but I'll still hear you because I'll have my headphones on.
Okay, great.
Will not be able to
trying to just, yes, don't worry about it. I'm trying to decide if I will pivot back to Orange County or if I will move along to Barbie. But since this is not a Barbie podcast and I don't want to give spoilers, I will talk about Orange County. And I do want to go back to the beginning of the episode where every time we see Tamara's son, Ryan, it's a jump scare to me. And I'm just shocked that Bravo allows Ryan to be on our screen after not only naked wasted, but the abuse allegations from his ex-wife slash fiance slash child's mother. I don't know if they were married or not. But also like the unhinged political behavior, which I guess isn't disqualifying, but it like should be disqualifying. Like if you're an insurrectionist, I don't know if he was, there's a question mark for me. If there's a question mark for me that you're an insurrectionist, you probably shouldn't be on the show.
Valid.
Also, naked wasted. That should be enough to ban Ryan from the show.
I feel like Tamara should then be
banned. I do believe that Tamara should be banned from the show.
For that same reasoning. I feel like if it happened a couple seasons later.
Yeah.
That it would be a different story. But I feel like it was
prior
to Me Too, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Like getting women drunk and having unconsented sex with them didn't really matter before 2015.
Yeah.
So it did. Don't take that
Of course it
seriously.
did.
They did.
But to like the mass populace.
Right. For
Yeah.
your TV entertainment. So
Yeah.
yeah, I get what you're saying. That like, why does he need to be on TV? Like, what
You're
is
like,
he
we don't need
adding to
Ryan.
this?
We're not like, thank God Tamara's back so we can get more Ryan.
Right.
I do also want to pivot back to Jen for a second and just say she was on Watch What Happens Live this week, and she had Ryan with her. And he had a microphone. He was in the front row, and Andy asked him a question. I don't remember what the question was. Something about like, how do you respond to like the allegations that Tamara has been saying? And he was like, well, I'll show you how I respond, or something like that. And he brought up a hat that said dick pic on it, hashtag dick pic. And Andy Cohen had the most cringe. It was like the most secondhand embarrassment I've ever felt for a person. I felt for Ryan and Jen, because Andy Cohen was like, wow, making merch already. Okay. And like was not even entertaining, like, oh, haha, that's cute. He was just like, oh, okay, already making merch. Got it. And I was like, ooh, that was like painful to watch. That was like so painful to watch.
Yeah, that's why. I mean, do people not realize like props are never going to land the way you think they're going to?
Never.
Especially when they're so self-serving. Like, it's part of the reason that Jen Shah's in jail for as long as she is.
Yes, that is true. That is very true.
I have hot off the press news. There we go. Threads added the following.
Oh, yes, I did see.
My Facebook friend just texted me to tell me.
I did see that. I was told by Glances.
Oh, speaking of.
When Tamara Judge gives you lemons, you make lemonade, says Glances. Glances and I were watching this together, and he wanted to rewind. He wanted to rewind the napkin throw, and he also wanted the napkin throw in the confessional, not Tamara's napkin throw, and the very cringe moment with Andy Cohen. But like, we were both crawling out of our skin because of how embarrassed we were for that man.
Yeah, that's just stick to being like the one side piece now. Boyfriend. You don't need to have a role.
Yeah. That's what he said. Glances said that's what he said. When Tamara Judge gives you lemons, you make lemonade. And the lemonade is a hat that says hashtag dick pic on it. But it didn't say dick pic. It's a DCK pic.
Oh, cool.
So we can't spell out dick.
That is
duck pic. Doc pic. Deck pic. Maybe he's a big Below Deck fan.
Not DACK. That's the one that doesn't work.
Yeah. So who knows what he's going for?
Yeah, he probably loves ducks.
Yeah, probably.
Big Mighty Ducks fan.
Yeah, loves pictures of ducks. So we'll see. I mean, I don't know. I like Jen giving it back to Tamara and saying like, you were flirting with him too, and you were making jokes about it. Now all of a sudden you're making it a story. I was like, okay, yes, please call her out. That's really it. That's all I have for this episode of OC. It was good. I mean, it was like an old school episode of OC. That's what it felt like.
Yeah, I think we're seeing people who were at different times in their housewives' careers who were the power players, the kingpin of the cast in their own ways, being taken down by people who are willing to finally stand up to them. And
after like 7 seasons undeserved of being on the show, Gina's finally doing something.
Here she is
doing something. Good for her.
But yeah, I'm enjoying this season. It's not like today and yesterday, because I couldn't remember. I had to text you like, when did we say we were podcasting? Yes. And because I wanted to get caught up on Love Island. So it was really all today that I watched like all the Bravo shows while working. And I swear I got my job done. It's just kind of like over here.
Yeah.
In case you ever
it's like listening to a podcast.
Manager. But that Atlanta's always like the last one I watch at this time.
Me too.
And the fact that OC took that for a long time, way to move up the ranks.
Yeah. Yeah. I was going to say something about OC, but I don't remember. Oh, I will say, I mean, obviously I'm a Shannon fan, but she's really making me laugh this season. I think one, her stuff with John obviously is like, I've only been to his house like twice to eat dinner and he's only kept me. Yeah, whatever. That's like obviously doomed, which we know. But her off-gassing stuff made me laugh. The way that she was talking about David's divorce, I thought was interesting. She was like, yeah, I don't want that to like financially impact my kids. And I was like, good for you for like looking at it from that lens. Like that to me says that she's grown.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that from her. Also, I don't know if this was in the actual episode or if it was a never before seen, but Tamara was like, I don't even remember when I got married to Simon. So that to me tells me, I'm just like, you are truly an asshole. You are just a miserable asshole.
There's no way she doesn't remember.
There is no way that she does not remember. I'm just like, it's not cute, Tamara.
Yeah, I just don't believe her.
No, I don't believe her either. All right. Anything else in the OC?
No, I'm just trying to think. Are there other? That's all the housewives on right now, right?
That is all the housewives. Are you up to date on any of the Vanderpump stuff with Graham?
Yes. Who has a new name?
Graham has a new name, Hippie. His name is Hippie now. Will
you explain, and I will again mute because I use drugs. Just
no
the
problem.
medicine kind, not like cocaine or anything. So I'm still listening.
No problem. So for anyone who's not following what's going on the Vanderpump Rules filming side of things, which I guess this is kind of a spoiler if you like to go into seasons completely blind to everything, which I feel like is really hard, actually, given the cast is doing a lot. There's a lot in the press. The cast was filming together for a cast trip in Lake Tahoe to celebrate Lisa Vanderpump's new restaurant. I think it's called Wolf, maybe, in Lake Tahoe. I don't know. Not really important. Important for her, not for the topic of conversation. And everybody was there except for Katie and Ariana. And Sheena was posting stories on her Instagram. And there was a dog in the stories. And everybody was like, on the internet, was like, is that Graham? That looks like Graham. And then there was speculation. Someone leaked something that they met people that were there and they heard the dog getting called Graham. So people are like, nope, that's definitely Graham. Graham is with James. So James made a post saying like, oh, you're back in my life, Graham. I'm so excited. And everybody's like, what the actual hell? And then there were rumors that Rachel dumped Graham off at a shelter, very reminiscent of Lucy Apple Juice, which we talked about. I brought that up last week for some reason, and I don't remember why, but I'm like, did I summon this dog story to happen? I don't know. Dropped Graham off at a shelter, and then that shelter got in contact with Lisa Vanderpump, and Lisa got the dog and gave him to James. Rachel's mom made a statement that Graham is aggressive and bit her, shared pictures, which were kind of graphic and disgusting if you've seen them, of a wound on her hand, saying that Graham bit her to the bone. She took him to 2 vets who suggested that he be euthanized. And she said, absolutely not. I'm taking him to California Doodle Rescue or something. I think it was California Doodle, something like that. They couldn't help him. So then he ended up at whatever. I don't know. I don't know if that place took him to a shelter or if they contacted Lisa Vanderpump or what. But Lisa eventually got the dog, said like, we will rehabilitate him or he will live with me. Like, I will take this dog. Like, we're not letting him go in a shelter. And then she gave him back to James, I guess. So she got got custody of the dog, gave it to James, and now the dog's back with James. California Doodle Rescue's website says very clearly they do not take dogs with aggression issues. So I don't know. What is the truth? I have no idea. But weirdly enough, Rachel was also seen in public for the first time in a very long time with a hat that says like, be a good person on it. The same weekend that we found out that she basically dumped her dog that has lived with her for years. So it's just a mess. And James changed the dog's name to Hippie. I don't know. Maybe it's a good thing for Graham if like Graham is triggering to him and they really want to like rehabilitate him and have a good life. I hope that James is going to do the right thing for the dog. Who knows? He also has a lifestyle where he travels a lot, but it seems like Allie has a good head on her shoulders. She has 2 cats. I don't think Lisa would have given him the dog if she thought that he would be problematic as an owner. So
That's
I just
true.
hope the best for Graham.
Absolutely.
Poor guy. Or Hippie.
I don't know if this is the right platform, but since it's the only one I have, first of
Yeah.
all, if you're seeking out doodles, like fuck off. Like I am
Yes.
so anti-doodle, and I've known and met a few cute doodles. However, like you are paying a lot of money for a um
A designer dog.
glorified not just designer, but like you're mixing breeds. And so
Yeah.
like if you are purposefully mixing breeds, you are asking for health issues. And so, not saying that like the aggression could be a health issue. This dog has probably been through a pretty tumultuous time as its owner was gone for a while and
Yeah.
has been like beep bopping around LA and all the Vanderpump establishments to finally find a home. So, like, I'm sure the reaction was because of that. But anyway, I'm taking an anti doodle stance right now. Uh,
That's fair.
get a
I'm fine with
poodle.
that.
Get a poodle.
Well, pure breeds I thought were the ones that have health issues because they're like inbred. So they're
It's more so like it's at least with like a purebred dog, the issues are like tend to be like generational and linear. So for
yeah.
example, I can like I've grown up having golden retrievers. So um especially male goldens are like highly susceptible to cancer. This is
Yeah.
something you know when you get a male
Yeah.
golden retriever, but a golden retriever in general. And so when you're taking a golden retriever and mixing it with, let's say, a poodle, you are now taking whatever causes the cancer
Yeah.
in the golden and then whatever are like regular health issues in a poodle and now blending them together to like who knows what's happening where so it's like I mean all breeds of dogs have like their issues, but like when
Yeah.
you're also choosing to then pay like 3 grand. When I was looking for a dog, I we saw like an ad for a mini golden doodle, so I called just to entertain it because Brett was like my roommate. He was like, "Well, I would love if we got a dog then shed," and I was like, "I'm getting golden retriever." And
Yeah.
so I saw this 7 grand for a mini golden doodle.
Yeah. Well, in general, there are a lot of dogs that need to be adopted, and dogs are dying in shelters every
Right.
day. Like, please go adopt a dog. It's just very sad. And I'm glad that didn't end up
But
hippies.
yes,
And
I'm very glad that despite him being a doodle, he is
it's not his
living.
fault he's a doodle.
No, you were
Can't
born
blame
this
him.
way. No, but I'm
Yeah.
glad that he's hopefully in a better place than being euthanized because it sucks how many dogs have to be euthanized just for reasons because people get animals and think that they are not the commitment that they are.
Right.
Because
And
then
it
the
feels
other
like,
side of it, sorry, not to interrupt
no,
you,
go
but
ahead.
then the people who like treat their dogs like kids,
Yeah.
hand up, like are criticized like, oh my god, it's not a child. First of all, I don't call Nitro my child. I don't refer myself as his mom. I hate that type of shit. But like I care about him greatly because I chose to bring him into my life. And so for people who do not take that commitment to heart, fuck you too. You're
Yeah.
part of the reason that there are so many shelters that are maxed out and need to be or like
Yeah.
dogs are getting euthanized because you think that it's like a puppy is fun. No, they're annoying as fuck. They're cute, but they're annoying
Yeah.
as fuck.
They're a lot of work. I mean, it's a real commitment. And my sense, and this is just a literal full assumption based on what we know about Raquel, is that she got a cute puppy. She had a puppy shower that her friends didn't come to. And then she broke up with James after the pandemic or during the pandemic, I guess, and then just went and sowed her wild oats with other people's boyfriends and probably left the dog to sit at home alone or have a babysitter or whatever. And I know everybody else was saying, the other cast members have said like he's not a well-behaved dog because from what I know, and I don't know a lot about golden doodles, but I have heard that they're very high energy and need a lot of attention. And she obviously just was not giving this dog the attention that it needed and not giving it a stable home. So it was acting out. It wasn't trained clearly. So I'm hoping that James is going to be able to give him more structure. It seems like he's really happy to have Hippie back in his life, and hopefully when he travels, he can go stay with like Lisa Vanderpump or somebody who will keep the dog on some kind of like structured
Hmm.
regiment that it needs and not just like leave it to who knows where he was. But I just feel like, I don't know.
If there's anyone's happiness I'm rooting for on Vanderpump Rules, it's the artist formerly known as Graham.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. People on Reddit were like, this is weird. And then other people were like, it's actually not that weird. And like dogs do have like that can be triggered by things or
Oh,
like negative
absolutely.
things in their lives. So like maybe it's probably a good thing that James is renaming the dog and it shows that he's committed to rehabilitating him. So like good. Good for
Dude, my dog, well, I had to train him out of snapping at me when I would go to take away the end of his bully stick. I am the person he loves the most in this whole
yeah.
entire world. And that little motherfucker would growl and snap at me
Yeah.
because I would go to take away his bully stick. Like, there are stupid things that can trigger your animals. And
Yeah,
there's also
totally.
real things that can trigger your animals. And like I said, like dogs need structure and routine too. That dog probably had none of that post
Mhm.
Scandival, and but the good thing is dogs can be retrained and
Yeah.
taught. You just need to be patient, and they're not just like decorations for your home or accessories to take cute Instagram photos with. They take
Totally.
time and commitment, and I hope that James and Allie are able to provide that for him. I have faith
Me
because of
too.
Allie,
Me
less
too.
because of James.
Well, yeah, we'll see if they end up together for the long term. But yes, I agree. Also, it seems like Sheena's been getting ripped to shreds about being seen with Sandoval, which is interesting. So much so that like Brock has had to make a statement. Ariana's made a statement.
Yeah.
Sheena and Lala were making Instagram stories about it. It's just kind of wild. I feel like we're in a situation now with Vanderpump where it's become like larger, like we're watching the show play out in real time. So when we see it, it's almost going to be like we're just replaying back everything we were. It's almost like Big Brother, how we were watching it on live
Yeah.
feeds to a lesser extent, obviously, and then we see like the edited version on TV. It's very weird.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, people need to calm down.
Everybody needs to calm down. Everybody needs to calm down. We're taking Vanderpump too seriously, everybody. It's not that big of a
Mhm.
deal. You don't actually know these people.
Right.
Let's relax.
And you got the same explanation from like almost every single person who was in that
Right.
photo. So
Right.
maybe believe them.
Yeah. It's pretty ridiculous. Well, that's it. I guess we'll see what comes out this week on Vanderpump filming saga because it's
The
big news
social
every
media
week, it feels
version.
like. Yeah. Um, Anything else in the world of TV? I know you have a lot of TV going on. I know we
Mhm.
said we could talk Stars on Mars. Um, I am not caught up yet on Below Deck Down Under, but I'm going to watch. I know there's 3 episodes I have to catch up on. Maybe I'll do it tonight.
Mhm. We had the final reunion episode of Sailing.
Yes.
It was very focused on Daisy, Colin, and Gary, the love triangle. And I'm just like happy it's done with at this point.
Yeah.
I don't need more of it. I'm pretty sure, and this is a spoiler if you are someone who doesn't like cast announcements, but I think there was a picture of like them filming for next season, and I won't say who, but one of the three did not appear to be in this photo.
Okay.
So the triangle will most
Mm,
likely be broken up next season. So
interesting.
what's nice is like knowing that there's gonna hopefully be a little bit of a break because especially just like they basically yelled at each other over Zoom for
Yep.
30 minutes of the reunion that I've had enough of that. I'm ready for this to take its course is done. We don't need any more
We're
of it.
docking the boat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great use of boat
Thank you.
language there. Good job.
Thank you.
So yeah, but the first few episodes of Below Deck Down Under are pretty decent.
Okay.
I just followed Aisha today on
Yeah.
Instagram, and she was saying like she thinks this is one of the best Below Deck seasons of all time in her one of her Instagram captions.
That's quite
That's
a statement.
Right. So I'm
All
definitely
right.
interested to see how things play out. I'll stop there since you said you're gonna watch.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch.
But it's so far you definitely have some interesting personalities on this season. I don't know if you have the most likable personalities, but you definitely have some interesting ones. And this captain, Jason, is like one of my favorites. So I like having him around.
All right, I'm excited. I'm gonna watch after this, I think. What's today?
Okay.
Tuesday? I don't think there's anything on for me tonight, so I'll watch it.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's it I think I have for Bravo, unless I don't think Peacock or I don't think Bravo includes Temptation Island or The Big D, which I'm also caught up on those. Lavelle was in the room when I was watching them, and I purposely turned him on just to not turned him on, turned them on. Yeah, scandalous. So turned the episodes on of those shows just to see if I'd get a reaction out of it. So, like when Temptation Island was on, I was like, if you ever say to me like we're having relationship issues and you think we should solve them by going on Temptation Island, I refuse to go. And he took me seriously. He was like, why would I ever want to air out our shit publicly? Like you think, and I'm like, I'm just kidding. But then
as if that's a reasonable request of like, by the way, if you ever want to do this, I'm not doing it.
Yeah. No therapy. Let's just go straight to Temptation Island. And then do you know the premise of The Big D?
I have no idea what The Big D is.
So it started off with 4
Did JoJo and Jordan host it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So let's
From
say
the
it starts
Bachelor
off
universe.
with 5 couples who are all divorced. They're all on this island. Okay. And the goal is for them to like either hook up with the other divorced people or hook up with the other divorced people.
So it's like The Ultimatum on Netflix.
I haven't watched that yet. So
that's basically the premise. Yeah. Sort of.
So I said to Lavelle, I'm like, if we ever get married and then get divorced and you say, let's go meet new people by going on The Big D, I refuse to go. And he was just like, wait, what the fuck did you just say? I had to like explain the whole show. And he's like, why do you like this shit? Like, I was like, honestly, I don't. Like, I'm not even this is just on. Like this one I really don't even like. And I actually hate Temptation Island. I think all the men on that show are trash. I think one of the worst men I've ever encountered is on The Big D. His name is The Core. And his name is
The Core?
No, like THAKUR.
Oh, okay.
He's a manipulative piece of shit. And I tried to tag him about that today on Twitter, and he isn't on there, unfortunately. I was ready to tweet it to his face.
Oh my God, you were ready to take it to X.
X it to his face.
X gonna give it to you.
Exactly. That's me. I'm X now. So, but yeah, I'm watching those. If anybody needs to talk about those, I'm here.
Amazing. Yeah, we don't, some of the podcast is lacking the dating stuff. I know Josie does cover it on occasion, but we haven't gotten too deep into it in a while.
It's nice also watching it knowing I don't have to talk about it because like I pay
no pressure
18% attention as I'm
that's the right amount of attention.
Yeah. I definitely was writing postcards through all of these shows this week. Yeah. So
I will be seated front and center for the Golden Bachelor though.
Oh my God. I was thinking of saying that out loud too. Yes. I want to watch that so badly.
No question. Yes. At least for the first episode. We'll see where it goes from there. But Geriatric Bachelor, I'm in.
Reality Steve will have spoilers for it because...
Great question.
I am a monster, and this is how I like to watch my Bachelor seasons, given I haven't watched The Bachelor probably since... Is it her name Rachel? Black woman? Has a little bit of a gap.
Rachel Lindsay?
Yeah. Okay, I can't remember if it was Lindsay or Rachel.
Yeah, Rachel Lindsay. She's an icon.
Oh, for sure. And I feel bad that I even like forgot what
she's a great podcast with Van Lathan.
She's 2 first names, so I forgot which one was what. But I haven't watched it, I think, since her season. Except I did watch some of Claire's because one of my like brother's friends was on that season. Yeah, Jordan. He made it relatively far, but like didn't do anything notable. So
I think I stopped at Katie's Bachelorette season.
I don't even
But
remember
I
Katie.
also don't know if I watched the whatever Tyler Cameron's friend is. What's his
Oh,
name?
that black
What is
guy
his
that's
name?
like tall and was dating someone named Rachel.
Yes, who ended up inadvertently getting Chris Harrison fired. Well, Rachel Lindsay really got Chris Harrison. Chris Harrison got his own ass fired, but it
Yeah.
was because of his interaction with Rachel Lindsay. Why
Yeah.
am I forgetting his name? Whatever. The Bachelor's
I
been
know
so
what he
far
looks
out of my
like.
mind. Yeah.
So I've been watching a long time, but my favorite way to watch The Bachelor was to watch the first episode. So I'd get to meet everybody, and then I would go and read the spoilers because I wanted to
Yeah,
see
me too.
how to like how
Full
they
in.
it just tells a better story when you know what's going to happen because you're like, oh, it like they're showing this for this person and not for another. So
Yes. Matt. His name was Matt.
Matt.
Yes.
Um
Matt
yeah,
James.
I'm hoping I don't want to go and look because I don't want to accidentally see any spoilers, but I'm hoping Reality Steve has spoilers. But I have every intention of watching that show because the
Oh,
women
I will
there
1,000%.
are probably not going to be chasing like for clout, and so
Yeah, it's gonna bring us back to the golden age,
yeah, old
literally
school
and
shit.
figuratively. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm excited for it.
I'm excited for it too. I'll be seated.
Mm-hmm. And then this is Bravo adjacent.
Yes.
Portia's still on Stars on Mars. Spoiler.
Yeah.
Sorry if that ruined anything for anybody. But we're talking Stars on Mars, so
Yeah. Yeah, if you're not
but
watching
not
Stars
this
on
week's
Mars,
episode.
you
We're
can,
talking
yeah.
up to last week because I think it was on last night and I didn't watch it.
It was on last night. Yes. I caught up after we chatted last week and we recorded and we talked about Lance Armstrong, and then Lance Armstrong went balls to the wall piece of shit again in the episode you just watched. So I tweeted a wholehearted fuck you from my chest. I'm sorry. What is it called now on X? Is it still a tweet?
Zeeted or something? You XEET. That's what it is.
It's Zeeted.
I don't know.
I don't like that.
X
I posted on Twitter is what I did. I tweeted because it was still Twitter at the time.
The artist formerly known as Twitter.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Twitter. What a sad ending. Yeah, he's an asshole.
So, how do you feel about Ariel as just like a character on this show?
I find her very annoying.
Yes. I find it annoying that I have to like side with her.
Me too. I don't want to side with Ariel, but I will side with her 1,000% over Lance Armstrong.
Yes. And in a way, though,
and
like,
Marshawn Lynch was in the wrong this episode that we're talking about.
That was tough. That was tough. It is like very interesting TV though, because I feel like it's not many instances where the annoying person is also right. And so
yes, it's true.
It really does put you at this weird position of like, she's annoying the fuck out of me in every single way, except for the fact that she's willing to tell Lance Armstrong, fuck you and what you stand for. And so I want you around for that, but I don't want you around for anything else. But I find this issue to be important. So I guess you're welcome to stay. I haven't felt about like any reality TV character like that in a long time.
Yeah, it is interesting. I'm not rooting for her, but I appreciate that she's standing up for what's right. And he, at least from what we saw anyway, seems to be the one that's making like a really big issue out of it, even though he's the one that's like very clearly in the wrong and just like spouting it to everybody that will listen. Also, like, not only is he a transphobe, he's clearly a misogynist. And so is Paul Pierce.
Yeah.
So is Paul Pierce for walking in, and as soon as like a woman has an opinion that makes someone feel uncomfortable, everyone's like, oh, she's got to go. She's like too strong. And I'm like, why? Because she's a young woman and she has been here for a long time, quote unquote, or longer than you, and is like being assertive. That's not okay with you?
No.
I don't like that shit. Meanwhile, all this guy does is complain.
Yeah, when he threw his temper tantrum of like, I'm gonna leave then. That's the only resolution. If I am not like he kind of trumped it, like literally
Yeah.
Trump. Like, I didn't win this election.
Yeah.
So I am gonna make a massive fucking scene.
Yeah, totally.
But he,
Totally.
I don't know. And then of course Ariel has to be like, well, I can't get rid of him because then like everyone's right.
Yeah. So she has to, because everybody made such a stink about it, she has to keep him, which I think the elimination went the right way.
Well, so I feel weird about this elimination because I feel like it was set up to fuck over whoever took wherever Ashley ended up.
Yeah, probably. Unless like they didn't take a nap and just like did it in an uncomfortable position.
Right, like I'll do a headstand and
Yeah,
cover
just
the
to
toe the whole time.
yeah,
So you
make
know that
myself
I'm
mission
actually
critical.
trying.
Yeah.
So I found that to be kind of annoying because I didn't need Ashley to go. I would have liked to see her
Mm.
stick around for a little bit. She didn't do anything where I'm like, please leave. I would have rather Paul Pierce left.
Oh yeah, for sure. Me too.
But he did do more work in the mission. And I just
He
feel
did.
like
But
it
he
could have
complained the
been
entire time.
anybody, like whoever took that one was getting sent home. That was, I didn't think
Yes.
was fair. And I think like for Mars to just set itself up so in this way, like at least make the potential effort that people need to put in equitable
Mm-hmm.
because whoever was there got fucked. You know what I mean?
Yes, totally.
So,
Totally.
but yeah, I didn't think like Ashley wasn't annoying yet. I think that she like would have encouraged the drama as well.
Well, she
So,
kind of was like, I'm just sitting here and I'm going to watch it. I'm like, well, that's what I'm doing. So, like, I don't need
yeah.
you on the show doing the same thing I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
That's true.
I'm done with her time has passed on TV. We're
I
done.
had enough of a break from her that I was like kind of intrigued by seeing her again.
Mm. Yeah,
She
okay.
hasn't
That's
been
fair.
in my life for a long time, so
Yeah.
I was okay with that.
Okay. I'm okay with that as well.
But no, I thought that was like not really a fair mission. It did, however, like test that is Ariel going to be petty or is she going to go
Right.
about this fairly? So it did, I guess, like at least put some credibility on the fairly part, but I would have loved to see her go petty as well.
Yeah, me too. Because like fuck Lance Armstrong, and if he wins this money, I'm gonna be pissed.
Yeah. Also, I thought it was ironic because besides Lance Armstrong cheating and like being known for like Livestrong bracelets and that,
Yeah.
one of the things I most commonly associate Lance Armstrong with is the movie Dodgeball, where
Oh,
he
was he in
gives
it?
yes,
I don't remember.
he was like the pivotal part of it. What happened is so the average Joe's team like has some hardships come up and Vince Vaughn's character is like ready to quit. He's like, fuck this, I'm out. And he like sits
Mm-hmm.
at a bar in like Vegas or whatever. And he happens to sit next to Lance Armstrong. And Lance Armstrong was like, buddy, I didn't quit and I only have one testicle. Like
Mm-hmm,
and so it was
mm-hmm.
like this big motivational speech about not quitting. And then in comes Lance Armstrong on Mars. And apparently that's all left him. He was ready and raring to quit. So not
Yeah.
only did Lance Armstrong ruin the integrity of the movie Dodgeball, but also doesn't even have the wherewithal to carry on that the integrity that he displayed in that movie to his mission on Mars.
It's true.
What a hypocrite. I don't care
Total
if he was
hypocrite.
acting in that movie. I'll
No,
take more
fuck him.
opportunities to talk shit about Lance Armstrong.
Yes, I agree. All the opportunities to shit on Lance Armstrong we should take.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, after this, I'm gonna go watch this week's episode of Stars on
Yeah,
Mars.
this week was a good episode too. The show was good. I mean, you know, we're in the middle of a writer's strike. Granted, the show came out like right when the writer's strike started, so I don't know how much it was impacted by it. But like, if this is what we're gonna get during the strike, we could be doing worse. It's content. It's something interesting to watch. If you like Big Brother, you'll like it. If you like Celebrity Big Brother, you'll definitely like it. And if you like just any TV shows with reality stars on them, you'll find it interesting.
I
It's
also
worth a
thought
watch.
Andy Richter was funny at the end of
Yeah.
that episode, and so I'm hoping to see if he actually follows up on what he said he was going to do, which was basically cause chaos.
Yeah, I like Andy Richter so far. Good addition. Probably my favorite of the new people.
Yeah.
Great. Well, Kari, anything else to talk about this week?
No.
No?
Nothing.
Covered it all?
Yes.
Okay. Well, we can go ahead and wrap it up at 10:16 p.m. Eastern Time. I don't know why I said that like it matters. I just figured I would share. Where can everybody find you? What are you up to? What's been going on in your life that you want to share?
I just write postcards. I watch reality TV and I write postcards. I'm not even joking. I have written, let's see, 550.
Damn.
Approximately. And like, it's not even, let me see if I can cover this. Like, if you're watching the video, it's not just like one line. It's like
beautiful handwriting.
Thank you. That is my best character trait. I will stand by
that.
We've
talked about it before. It's great.
Yeah, it is something like I will downplay myself to the high heavens. However, not about my handwriting. And if someone like says something about my handwriting, honestly, fuck you. Like there have been people who I've lost a lot of respect for very quickly because they're like, oh, well, I'm like, you're dead to me. So anyway. Okay, hold on. Before I get going, because I feel like I don't have any like showcaseable talents when I watch Claim to Fame.
Yeah.
And they do like the talent show that first, like each season in the talent show. Have you ever thought about like what your talent would be on the talent show? Because like I feel like I would just let people
and I don't
watch me. I have two options, I think. Like just watch me write things and like be in awe of my beautiful handwriting. Because then I could also do like the calligraphy type of stuff. Or second would be yell states at me and I'll tell you their state capital. Otherwise, I don't think I have a talent.
I think my talent would be ask me questions about Bravo TV. I really have no talent whatsoever. I have nothing. Mm-hmm. I'm not a creative person. I don't do anything.
Yeah, I can't dance. I can't sing.
Can't dance. I could sing karaoke if I'm drunk, but that's not a talent. That's just, I mean, maybe the talent is embarrassing myself. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I've thought about this. So anyway, that's
a good thing I'm not related to anybody famous.
Yet.
Who
knows?
You never know.
So yeah, I'm on the internet. Not doing a ton because I'm writing postcards literally all the time until 2,500 of them are done. But 1,320 are done. So we're over halfway there.
Yeah,
we're over halfway there. And I have until August 15th. So I have a good amount of time. But anyway, that's all I'm doing. So if you're looking for me to be entertaining on the internet, I'm not right now. It's because these hands are swollen. This hand is swollen from
these hands
writing with thin tip Sharpies. And that's it.
Yeah.
However, I did reply to, if you guys listen to RHAP, Jenny Autumn's tweet today saying that I will tag one annoying person a day just to call them out. I went to tag Thakor, the person I mentioned earlier, but he doesn't have a Twitter, so maybe I'll actually tag someone tomorrow. That's my online presence right now.
I'm ready Twitter to subscribe.
X. I actually went through who I'm following to see if there was someone I wanted to like legit call out, but I unfollow people that I think are annoying.
Yeah. See, I don't. I mute them or I just scroll by going like, ugh. Oh. And I never do anything about it.
I want you to know that I don't want to see your shit. Like this isn't a like, oh, let me play. I don't want them to know. No, I want you to know your shit sucks. You're annoying as fuck. I unfollowed you. And now I'm going to tag you in a chain of tweets over the next however many days I remember to do this.
Well, I could say something shady as you were going to earlier, but I'll save it for after the podcast. Okay, well, so follow Kari on whatever Twitter is called now. Yeah, if you want to see who she thinks is annoying.
KGD26.
Yeah.
Also, shout out Valencia for those codes. I haven't done anything with them yet, but I'm gonna be on Spill and Blue Sky once I do something with
Oh,
those
you got
codes.
codes from Valencia. Okay.
Both, yes. A hero,
Ooh, Valencia is a true hero.
honestly.
You had my next code. Now I have to go down the list for
Mhm.
Blue Sky. Um, great. Valencia is an all-star. You can find me on Twitter at RealSimKatie. You can find me on Threads at RealThreadsKatie. You can find me on Blue Sky at RealSimKatie. Blue sky, whatever it is. You can also find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/RealSimKatie with an underscore. And you can find me here on Silent Podcast talking about Real Housewives. And then starting next week, gotta mentally prepare. Next week, Big Brother 25. We'll be back. We will be covering it. We don't have a cast yet. We don't have a house theme yet. We don't have a house tour yet, but we will cover it once we get there. And I will be, speaking of Bravo, at Azza from Big Brother 23 is hosting a House Chops thing in New York, and she has a lip sync battle. And the main reason that the night before the premiere, and the main reason I wanted to go is because Kyle,
he's a judge, right?
Is a judge, as is Jill Zarin.
Saw that
which
too.
is very weird. And Chris Kirkpatrick from NSYNC, my favorite boy band. So like, how could I not go to fulfill my Bravo and my boy band? So plus, the Big Brother, I don't really care that much about hobnobbing with reality stars. It's always awkward to me. But Chris Kirkpatrick, I will be taking a picture with. Jill Zarin, I will absolutely be taking a picture with, even if she's not my favorite housewife. I don't care. I'm still taking a picture with her.
Ask her to come on the pod.
I will definitely ask her. She'll probably want to get paid, but like, I'll ask her.
Listen, we have no money to pay you, but we will gas you up.
I will ask her about her trips to Mar-a-Lago.
Oh, we won't gas you up.
Yeah. I'll take a picture with her and pretend I don't know about it. But yeah. How's the Trump inauguration, Jill? Just curious what your experience was like. Anyway,
I didn't even know that about her.
Yeah.
Don't invite her on here. I don't.
Yeah, no, we don't need her.
I have postcards to write for democracy.
Yeah, exactly. But we'll be talking about it. I think Isaiah's going to be here too. So hopefully we can do some fun recaps about like our experience there and stuff. So follow us. I'm looking for our banner. It's here somewhere. Follow us on the internet at silent_podcasts on Twitter. I don't know if we have a Threads yet, but we should soon. If we don't, at silent_podcasts. You can find us on Twitch at Silent Podcasts. You can follow us on YouTube and subscribe if you search Silent Podcasts. We stream most of our content live, and we will be launching a Patreon very soon. So stay tuned for more details on that, along with a Discord server. Oops, I changed our background. I don't know what I just did. My bad. Okay, well, I'm just clicking things. I don't know what I'm clicking. I don't know how that happened. Anyway, that just tells me it's time for us to go. So have a great night, everybody. We will see you next week. And until then, have a good one. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.